Marrying you doesn't make you the wife. Let that settle in for a second. Some of you have not yet prepared yourself to be a wife to be found. If you are saying, God, I want to be a wife, will you put in me and create in me the things that make me a wife? Some of you haven't been found yet because you haven't been a wife yet to be found. He doesn't make you a wife. You are a wife that he finds.
Hate it or love it, there is truth to what that man is saying. You do not get picked for the professional basketball draft before you can dribble, pass, and shoot. But sadly, some of y'all are really out here acting like you are entitled to some $1 million pro contract when you can't even run one length of the court without being out of breath. You expect to receive far more than you would ever sacrifice. Make that make sense. Like I always say, the relationships that we choose are a reflection of our own capacity for depth. There's even a biblical proverb that says, "A wife of noble character who can find? She is worth far more than precious stones." Women of noble character are rare. But before you take out those torches and pitchforks, of course, men of noble character are also rare. So let's not turn this into a competition of who is worse, because only victims and losers race to the bottom. For example, all of the top comments on that video are saying, "What about men? Talk to the men. Focus on the men. Don't talk about women." Personally, I think that anyone whose first response to a message of accountability is to blame shift and then die on the hill of a whataboutism are the exact people who need to sit down, shut up, and take notes, because such people are only exposing themselves as incapable of healthy relationships. And I see men doing the exact same thing on the other side. On a lot of the videos that are calling men up to a higher standard, a lot of the comments are crying about pandering to women. Y'all can just come out and say that you have no idea how to please a woman, let alone keep one. And don't even get me started about all y'all talking every day about a woman's body count while you sit around liking and following and lusting after every girl on social media, and then sit in a corner every day getting yourself off to adult videos of the hundreds of women that you would be hooking up with if you had the real life access to them. Out here demonizing other people for standards you sure as shit could never hold yourself to if you had the facilities. So why don't we all take the stick from our own eyes first before we start pointing the crosshairs at everyone else? Let's be real. What is going to get me further in my life and align me with greater success, regardless of what anyone else is doing? Talking and complaining 24/7 about how horrible modern women are, talking about gold diggers, spending my time concerning myself with the dating dynamics of celebrities and multimillionaire playboys, blaming feminism for my lack of success? Or how about taking accountability for my life and my decisions and investing myself to the highest levels of discipline, purpose, and principles that I am capable of? Between those two scenarios, which version of me will be most likely to build a successful life and be able to align with a woman of noble character? Yes, that was indeed a rhetorical question. The real questions are, do my current habits and behaviors align with what constitutes a desirable and righteous man, a good husband, a father worth respecting? Do I love myself enough to level up? Or am I lazy, unhealthy, and unattractive, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Is my masculinity and my idea of what it means to be a man a reaction to what women are doing? Does my highest self as a man hinge on the comparisons and debates with the bottom of the barrel of women? Let me ask myself, why am I spending my time casting pearls before swine, squabbling over crumbs, complaining about what's fair and what's not fair? Am I investing my talents, whether it is 2 or 4 or 6? Am I a good and faithful servant? Am I playing my cards to the best of my ability? And should it matter who is doing less? And does it make any difference to my situation by comparing and pointing fingers at somebody that I perceive to have it easier than me? If I'm not stepping up in order to give more to others from what I owe to myself and to God, what gives me the audacity to demand more from others like I'm owed something? Furthermore, let's talk for a minute about the very idea of the comments that say things like, "Say that to men." Are we really acting like content in society today does not aim at men's accountability? In my opinion, that is openly ridiculous and ignorant. As a man myself, I experience it firsthand. For example, we are told, happy wife, happy life, that we are broke, dusty, lame, or corny until we are able to provide value. And I'm not saying this as some sort of invite to a pity party, but men do not get to sit around in a safe space, hold hands, and tell each other, know your worth. You are enough. You don't need to change anything. You are worth love just the way that you are, and anyone who says otherwise is just entitled, bigoted, and sexist. And maybe more men need to hear that they are doing a good job, that they are needed and wanted, that they are enough as they are, and also are enough and have the power and the privilege to take up the mantle of responsibility and become more. Men are told all the time to be men. We are inherently expected to do, to become, and to provide, or else we are truly not considered men at all.
I was a guy and I saw a random girl paying for her valet, I probably would have so much pride. I'd pay for the random person. I would not be able to be a man around women letting them pay for things. Well, how dare you even pretend to pull out your wallet?
Even it's just this feminine thing that they have to them that they just, oh yeah, I'll let the girl pay.
I would feel like a literal woman if my girl asked me for something and I was like, oh, to be quite honest, it's embarrassing. What are you being frugal for? You can't take it with you when you die.
It's the biggest turnoff ever.
It is what it is. Look, I also think it is so important to have role models, to dig your values deeper than the variables of the free will of the people who come in and out of your life, to have an ideal destination of character and relationship in your mind and in your heart, and then align your current behaviors accordingly with that image. The road is narrow, but be careful. If you are just trying to be all of these good things in order to achieve the partner that you believe you deserve, then are you really doing it because you believe in it? Are you doing it because the love and truth exists from the inside out? Or because you're trying to behave in a way that you think will get you love from the outside in? Like, if I'm only trying to be a good man so I can get with a good woman, do I really believe in being a good man? Or am I just a manipulator? Am I just playing charades, acting the part of the hero so I can get the girl? If so, should I be surprised when it all falls apart behind the scenes when the cameras are not rolling? When things get real? Because in reality, I am no hero. I was just playing a part. And if I'm acting, I'm going to align with other actors because our relationships are reflections of ourselves. Ultimately, the truth of relationships is that no one is ever fully prepared. No one ever comes in fully whole or fully complete. And those who expect that or think that way are delusional and they will fail. A lasting relationship is simply a dance of two people growing alongside each other, making space for their differences and coming close to support the areas that need support. And I'm speaking on this as a man who has had two left feet, who has danced on the toes of a few relationships and has had my toes stepped on. I've learned a few lessons the hard way, and what I share on this page is all about learning how to dance better.